And welcome back, everyone, to What If, the last of the My Hero What Ifs. Then we'll go back to the Dragon Ball What Ifs. But from Shadows 82, they asked the question of what if Midoriya, Izuku Midoriya, was actually Captain Marvel, basically the Carol Danvers equivalent of Captain Marvel. To do so, I made this lovely, not cursed at all image. I tried to make him look more like he had pecs versus, breasts, but either way, it's still kind of a female image, like physically. So there you go. Otherwise, here's the thing: if I were able to just square off a little bit more of that, like the left-hand side, and just make it look more like a pec, it probably would not have been that. It fits Midoriya's body type all right. Honestly, I don't think the image is all that bad otherwise. But with that said, how does this work? Because Carol is not actually human. Carol is a Kree-human hybrid. Now, luckily, I believe that's through... Oh, crap. I think yep, I did. I had to... it was bound to happen. I stepped in something outside. I'll have to clean the bottom of my shoe off. Sorry, I had to get the mail prior. I smelled dog crap on my shoe. It is what it is. So, Carol is not a human. She's a Kree-human hybrid. Now, I can't remember if that's just her natural genetics or if it was through an experiment of some kind. I think it's the latter. But in Deku's case, there's an easy out to this. Deku's dad has never been in the series. Now, we know his dad allegedly breathes fire, but that's all, and he works overseas. That's all we actually know about his dad. So, it's kind of like the Lobo What If, where him being the son of a Kree individual, that can totally work in this case. Now, mind you, in the movie, she wasn't half Kree. She got her powers from an accident involving being exposed to the Space Stone. But here, that's not the case. At least, not the Space Stone. What I do see happening, though, is when we get to the point where Deku's just excited, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait for my quirk. Sorry, kid, you don't have a quirk. It's like, what? Yeah, I see this. This is how we can determine if people have quirks because of this little fact about the toe, this extra joint. I will say though, you seem to be a little bit stronger than a normal human, but your DNA is a little off. But I don't know if I can really count that as a quirk or just some random condition you have. Sorry, kid. I was like, Midoriya, are you okay, Mom? Could I really be a hero? I was like, oh, my baby boy. And so Midoriya would go for a few years, just hoping to still be a hero some way, but understanding that he doesn't have a quirk, technically. So he is, he's struggling with this fact, with this information. And Bakugo would still be making fun of him the whole time. Midoriya is just, says, hey, are you okay? It's like, what, you helping me? Grr. So where do the powers come from in this case? Well, I think on one of those little excerpts, they end up getting a little too close to something going on. Either a fight with a hero or a villain's happening, or some sort of experiment is going on somewhere. And Bakugo, with his headstrong and cocky attitude, leads them into danger, unfortunately. And before he gets the chance, by the time he realizes, wait, no, this is bad. We're actually, we could actually be killed here. Oh my God. There's an explosion of energy, to which is Midoriya, because there's those other neighborhood kids that are with them as well. Midoriya actually is like, get down! He pushes them out of the way. I was like, Deku, where are you? Boom! And just sees Deku get hit with the shockwave. So imagine, it just gets flying and flies. And this, I think, is actually a key moment for Bakugo at this early stage. Because it's a very good question when we stop and think about it. We know that Midoriya, despite all the shitty treatment from Bakugo, still thought of him as a friend. Did Bakugo ever truly think of Midoriya as a friend in the early series? Or was it one of those things where, we're kids in the neighborhood. By default, we're friends, even though we have nothing in common, don't like each other, whatever. I'm inclined to think it's more of the latter, even though Bakugo probably very deep down considered him a friend. Like there was probably a nugget of that, but I think especially at an early age, he was just too wrapped up in his own arrogance and his own BS. But he sees Midoriya take that hit and go flying, and just boom, he gets blasted nuts. And for the first time in a while, he's like actually concerned about this kid. He's like, that idiot! Hey, Deku! Deku! Midoriya, wake up! He smacks him around a little bit. Wake up! Is everyone okay? He's like, that was one of the dumbest things you could have done, you idiot! It's like, wait, Bakugo, you and insert their other names. I'm sure they have names. I could look it up, but I'm not going to bother. They're irrelevant characters. Those are their kids. Sorry, but you're irrelevant characters. And are you okay? I was like, yeah, idiot. What the hell? Sorry, I saw what was going to happen, and what do you mean you saw what was going to happen? I mean, I don't quite know. I just look. I don't know how you're alive, but just go home, go see your mom, go to a doctor, do something. Just get out of here, Midoriya. Get out of here, Deku. It's like, yeah, okay. I'm just glad you guys are okay. It's like, just go. And Bakugo's like, Bakugo, I mean, Midoriya did say, shut up, I know exactly what happened. Now, this is very key. Like, he gets back, Inko is just worried sick about him. It's like, Midoriya, what happened? And she takes the doctor. He turns out to be fine. And as he's healing, he's recovering, he's just having dreams. And he wakes up and he's flying. He's like, I'm flying. It's like, Midoriya, oh my God, my baby boy has a quirk. He's flying. Oh, I was like, oh, okay, I've got to come down. Trying to figure out what's going on. So ultimately, Midoriya's, let's call it the quirk, his powers awaken. Now, the question is really, what are Carol Danvers' powers? What is Deku's power set in this video? Well, he has only his standard stuff: enhanced physicality, strength, speed, and to the point where Carol Danvers, even without absorbing energy to enhance herself, can trade blows with a base Hulk. Mind you, it's a base Hulk. She's not ultimately stronger than the Hulk. Even if you go full binary, she's not that strong. Not even close, frankly. But she can fly, obviously. She actually does have indiscriminate precognition. She can legitimately see in the future. It's just something she can't actually control. So there's that. But obviously, one of the main abilities she has is energy absorption and redirection. She can fire, she can absorb lightning, fire, radiation, cosmic energy. She can shoot it back out as photon blasts, blasts of energy as well. She does have limitations to this, but what this also allows her to do is create a force field around her to basically absorb physical damage as well. Kinetic energy is another thing she can absorb. If she absorbs enough of it, she can go into her binary form, which is the transformed form that you see in Captain Marvel. Her hair lights up on fire, and she is exceptionally strong. And we're talking about she can travel light years away extremely quickly. Like, she does reach light speeds in that form. She's just not as heavy of a hitter as maybe she was once in the comics. Like, at one point, she was super powerful in the comics. She is not as anywhere near as, and really, it's not because she's gotten all that much weaker. It is more the fact that she has gotten, it's just that the distance covered is far greater in terms of other characters that have come around. Now, she did formerly have powers connected to things like a white hole, which gave her more energy, but she no longer has that. So yeah, Midoriya is like, whoa, cool. He spends, next time he sees Baka, says, hey, you guys okay? Look, I have a quirk I do have a quirk. Maybe that explosion that helped, maybe it was like dormant or something, and this explosion helped awaken it. And he starts flying around. Whoa, you can fly, Midoriya? That's awesome. Huh. And Bako is at first like, no way. But I'd say, is that all you could do? I mean, look, flying's cool. It's impressive. I'll give you that. Like, even Bako would have to admit, like, I guess I can't call you Deku anymore. How about, hold on. I'm gonna figure out I want to get the Japanese name right. And Midoriya even shows like, I also can kind of do this. I can also tell I'm a lot stronger now too, and I can do this. He just fires a pot shot. It's probably not very strong because he just doesn't have any energy stored up. Because he's probably not aware of the energy absorption part of his quirk yet. I'm just gonna call it the quirk because it's my hero. Hey, hold on, English to Japanese translator. And so, as you can find, still, it's not as cool as my explosion. Boom, and he fires off blasts. Which I imagine because Bakugo's had it for a little bit longer, it is just a stronger attack at the moment. Again, Midoriya doesn't really care. It's like, I have a quirk. This is awesome. I'm gonna be a hero too. It's like, fine. Hold on. Tobu Otokonoko? Tobu Otokonoko. Nah, that's too wordy. Tobu Oto. Flyboy is basically what I call them. But then she's like, but I was gonna call you that, but how about Firebug? Like, because he still finds him a nuisance. So fire is he, bug is bagu. Hibagu? Actually, that's not bad. All right, Hibagu. Firebug? Huh. Yeah, so keep laughing. And, Deku just gets in his face. Deku actually, not in his face, but says, I'm not going to lose to you anymore, Bakugo. You want to be a hero, and so do I. So let's aim for the top and see who wins. And Bakugo, despite still being Bakugo, is now, I think, can now see him more as an actual rival. So, and actually have legit, first off, he had to respect the fact he did it in general. He just wasn't going to be man enough to admit it, especially at that age. But beyond that, he just kind of smiles like, you're on, Hibagu. You're on. Midoriya. He gives him one, Midoriya. Hey, you just don't get used to it. It's the last time I'm calling you that. Hibagu. And Midoriya smiles. And so, the next bunch of years leading up to where we get in the series, where they're actually in class, like, how many of you are going for UA, want to be heroes? We actually see them, they're training on their own, but they also will sometimes train together. All right, Midoriya, let's try this. It's like, what the, huh? And that's when Bakugo's like, whoa, I don't know what it is. I feel juice, and he fires and attack is much stronger. It's like, wait, I can absorb energy. What? All right, then, he gets in close to, Midoriya, tries to use hand-to-hand. Midoriya's dodging, and this time he kind of uses a punch and explosion combo, which does force him back, but he's still able to absorb kinetic energy to a certain degree. Mind you, kinetic energy is not as easy because she can just be overwhelmed by a stronger individual. So I'd imagine the same would be true for Deku here. And so, so over the years, Bakugo's grudge starts to grow a little bit more on Midoriya because he actually has an out to his quirk. But this just pushes Bakugo to get trained even harder with his quirk and just boom, explosion. And I think we actually see early versions of things like the AP shot, or the scatter shot or something like that. And so he does a concentrated attack at Midoriya, which again is less fire and more just a armor piercing, a concussive explosive blast. So it does boom, I hit Midoriya, and he does actually get when he uses on him, he does actually feel it. But Midoriya, though, has never had to be pushed to binary, so he doesn't know about that form yet. Midoriya, though, is just flying around, and, Bakugo's just like, boop, 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 pot-shotting him in the air. Whoa, hey, whoa! My God! And Bakugo's also smart, so in one training session, he's probably like, I can't hit him normally, so blinds Midoriya. I can't see! Gets him in like a Nelson. He's strong, but he's not that strong. It's like, puts him into the drink. Gotcha, Midoriya. All right, I give. Again, Midoriya's not, even with all the training, he wouldn't be used to using his full strength. And Bakugo is a smart fighter. Plus, the character stats in My Hero are kind of odd. He's some humans are just a lot stronger than they look. Anyway, I digress. So, we got over and say, all right, you're all applying to UA. And so, yeah, awesome. And obviously there's actually no issue from Bakugo that Midoriya is applying. A, because he didn't get singled out by the teacher, which was stupid. That teacher was, I both love and hate the trope of the incompetent teacher who is just kind of an ass. Um, but yeah, who's just kind of an ass for no and doesn't realize they're an ass. But yeah, there's no reason, because him and Midoriya actually had to have an okay relationship here. And so they go off on their own. Midoriya's just kind of like walking, walking home from under the overpass, or it was a bridge or an overpass. I think it was a bridge actually. And he's just minding his husband, and then his precog randomly kicks in, and he just and he sees the future briefly, as he just well, then I just all of a sudden he's just like closing. Don't you move. And it's like, huh? Well, isn't this interesting? You think you're going to be able to hurt me with that, kid? He blasts the guy, but again, because of the nature of him, All Might has the power to learn just do a concussive force blast, or a blast of air through his shot, like a shockwave from his punch that basically just bursts him apart. Midoriya technically actually can get that strong thanks to having Carol Danvers level strength. In fact, hold on. Carol Danvers strength limit. Carol, how you doing, Carol? Carol Danvers, not 6. I don't want 616 Carol Danvers. Oh no, I do want 616 comic, not 616 movie. Hold on one second. What is the relative base strength wise again? Remember, I'm not looking at enhanced strength through energy absorption. So superhuman strength. Both higher. The specific levels are varied over the years. The party empowerment originally described as strength of about 10 Kree soldiers. Binary strength, they're deemed stupid. I hate ads. God, ads are so annoying. Prescribed as potentially unlimited. Although these strengths significantly reduce, she remains a color sign. Since she was able to absorb manipulation energies, she can redirect energy temporarily, increase her strength. Currently, her level is at a rate which support about over 100 tons. Yeah, with the exception of maybe All Might, Gigantomachia, and maybe Muscular, there is no one in My Hero that can get close to that. Now, I'm not saying he has that full capability right now. He probably still hasn't really tapped into his full potential even over all these years. But raw strength-wise, theoretically, Deku could also do the same thing if he tried. Yeah, but he's probably not thinking as right now. I was like, what am I going to do? I can't. And then there's the energy and manipulation. Now, the energy absorption and manipulation. She can discharge it as she sees fit, capable of absorbing various types of energy for the purpose of temporarily enhancing her own physicality. For instance, she can augment the strength of energy projections up to the force of exploding nuclear weapon. Jesus Christ. One of the main manifestations is the photon capable of firing concussive photons, stellar blasts. Let's see. She can process various types of radiations to form light heat radiation. It doesn't say though that she can still control certain processes of various types of external energy by discharging however she sees fit. So in theory, Deku can also convert energy into a different energy. In theory. But again, he needs to absorb and redirect. Like his base energy is not something he can do that with, I don't think. Because I don't think Carol can do that either. So he's just kind of like, okay, what am I going to... And I'm like, don't worry, have no fear, for I am here! Boom! It's All Might! It's your All Might! Yes, I am. And I must admit, that's a pretty impressive quirk you had there. Huh, thanks. I mean, he wasn't... I was kind of a mismatch for him a little bit. If he had some way to actually do any damage to me, I might be able to have done more with him. It's like, really interesting. Why do you say that? It's like, and he just kind of briefly said, I see energy absorption plus strength and augmentation. An interesting quirk indeed, young Midoriya. But anyway, I must go. I look forward to seeing you in the entrances. I assume you're applying to UA this year, young lad. It's like, yep, I hope to follow your footsteps. Well, do your best. I look forward to it. And he just stops and thinks, he could be I can see that look in his eyes. He could be a good candidate, but I'll have to keep my eye on him. And so he's like, I can bet All Might, I got his autograph. And there's no reason for him to be bothering All Might at all. Now I must go. Goodbye. No, it could be hilarious that Midoriya could be falling. Actually, I have a few questions if you don't mind. Whoa, how are you? You can fly too? Oh yeah, I can fly. It's like, well, I suppose I don't. I can feel the couple of cradle rays. I don't think he'd do that though. I think he's fine because he's got a quirk. He doesn't have it. Apart from the hero factor, it's like, oh my god, it's my hero. I don't see him really stalking All Might in this version. So really, it just comes down to Midoriya, going in for UA. Ida just tells him, "You be quiet. You're disrespecting his exam. Ida, shut up." Later, Ida got better. Similar to Bakugo, he got better a lot quicker, and he wasn't as bad as Bakugo in the beginning to begin with. But Ida's stick in the mud attitude is always. I don't like stick in the mud characters. I do not like them. Bakugo, at least you can like hating him. Ida is just annoying. And then that whole BS about him trying to, I gotta do something else. Stay out of it, Midoriya. It doesn't concern you. To which Midoriya's like, I've got a lot of things to say to you. Like, you are a goddamn moron, for a start. Yeah, that was Ida's lowest point. Like, this whole, because he's acting like a he's acting like a kid. He's acting like a child who's hurt, angry, and not thinking straight. Fortunately, they do fix that later on. But anyway, Midoriya quickly just takes out some robots, and then the Zero Pointer comes in, and he realizes, well, I don't get any points for this, so I better, oh god, this sucks. Hey, wait, whoa! And they just kind of stops, just kind of starts firing, an attack. I don't have enough energy. All right then. He puts up the strongest force field he can around, so he doesn't take too much damage. All right, boom! He just gets hit straight in the face. Boom! Oh, that kid! And just boom! And all of a sudden, he just the foot bucks and just boom, smashes down on him again. Strategic. He bucks it up so he can be hit by it again, and just all of a sudden, boom, he just gets blasted out. And she just sees he's there and he's glowing. He's not in binary form. He didn't absorb anywhere near enough energy for that. Come think of it, is there going to be any point in the series where he actually could go binary? Shoto and the sports festival could be a binary moment. That could be a binary moment. And then when he learns about binary, then he'd have to work out ways to turn into binary. Collab with Bakugo, very possible he could do that. But, he's there and he's just, looks like he's glowing in place. Like, I'm not going to let you hurt her. And he just disappears. Just, boom! And he just remembers All Might. Smash! Boom! Just hits it straight in. Boom! And just flying there. And he floats in. Hey, are you okay? Hold on, I got you. It's like, oh my god, thank you. It's like, don't worry. You and me are going to be a couple someday. A side note, and this is, by the way, we're pretty much going to end it. So it's like, you welcome to my Hero or your Hero Academia. But yeah, it's funny how you can sometimes see tropes immediately. Like one of my girlfriend's favorite shows is Fringe, and we're rewatching it. She's rewatching it. I'm watching it for the first time. And the first episode comes up, and I see the main characters, and I just go, hello, future love interests. But no, future love interest, clearly. So yeah. And you'd get to obviously, real quick, they would use their quirks in obviously the physical test, which again, Bakugo has no issue with Midoriya this time around, at least nowhere near as a big enough issue with Midoriya to raise a fuss. So Midoriya probably gets some of the best grades in the class on that. And then we would leave off with, I could see him having a suit that looks similar to this, but it's green and blue instead. Looking kind of same colors as his actual suit. I could see that being his actual costume, with a little bit of the All Might Ravier still in there. But anyway, I digress. That's the end of part 1. Sorry it's late. Got delayed yesterday, but here we are. Thanks for watching. See you next time.